So yeah, let's continue.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
Let's get this group. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Everyone else I record with is like let's or something, and then you just like nod.
You didn't see my facial expression? I'm ready to go.
The deal is this. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I read Dropper Anton Wilson, all this real. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I read Dropper Anton Wilson, all this real. Dude, I'm pissed. Dude, I'm pissed. Come on. What? Okay, by the time we finish this, you're all going to be practicing magicians.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast where Gary and I are going through Grant Morrison's new X-Men run issue by issue and having a pretty goddamn great time doing it. How are you today, Gary?
I'm doing all right.
Doing pretty good?
Doing okay. Got a little bit of hunger in me. I think after we finish up this recording session, I'm gonna go grab a bite.
What you thinking?
I need to eat some vegetable content. And I need to go grocery shopping. So I might go to a store with like a hot bar. I might go to like a Whole Foods because I don't need very much in the way of groceries. Eat a couple vegetables from the hot bar and bring home, some minor groceries.
I love it. I've got
Not one of those fat cats who shops at Whole Foods regularly.
No, neither am I. So. Also because fuck Whole Foods in general, but yeah, we are having hamburger steaks tonight. So.
Ooh, baby.
I know. Fucking gravy on some rice. Not a vegetable in fucking sight, my dude.
Yeah. All the vegetables had to go sit out in the back deck.
Yes. they're in the backyard. You guys aren't allowed. We're covering issue number 123 of the new X-Men today. We are
Part
in
2 of Imperial.
The Imperial arc. Let's get it started and talk about this weird cover. I don't like it.
Nope. This is also an off-model Wolverine. It's a different kind of off-model Wolverine. Clearly supposed to be him, but if he didn't have like the claws and a little bit of the hair, it might. I'm not sure exactly who it would be.
Yeah, it looks.
I don't care for it either.
It looks like a famous action star for some reason. Like it looks like one of those times that somebody drew like a well-known face in a well-known pose that I just can't quite place because it's been altered just enough.
Like Greg Land.
Yeah,
like Greg Land does with porn.
Yes, absolutely. Greg Land. That's what I was thinking of.
Fucking Greg Land. The art in this, we're back to Ethan Van Sciver, the noted shithead, who is nonetheless a good artist. I think the art in this book is good, even if the cover is bad.
Yep. We're starting off with Angel, not that Angel, the new Angel, who has weird insect wings and shoots like acidic goo out of her mouth. And she's sitting up in a tree while someone yells at her and tells her that they are trying their patience. And of course, we're going to find out that it was Emma Frost
who was yelling. Yeah. And Emma and Jean are walking through the campus. Like, it's one of those things where they know the attack is coming, but the life still has to go on.
Yeah.
Like we can't plan for this. It's like Portland with the big earthquake that will come and eventually kill me.
Australia is on fire, but there is nothing that I can do about that right now besides record a podcast about comic books. So here I am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And basically they just kind of, they talk about catch us up, like what's going on. They're having a press conference because that was Charles Xavier's kind of directive to Jean Grey after she rescued him. They talk about he can't remember. There's this great little detail that pays off later where Jean Grey says, his mind is going like he can't remember who I am most of the time. He calls me Moira, which is great, or Gus, which is a weird one, and that pays off later in a really touching moment. There's a great little bit, where they're talking out loud. She's like, well, what do I talk to these people? I have the flu. I'm really stressed out. Again, that flu subplot. And Emma Frost says, they love jokes, dear. And then psychically says, how about you tell them that you just found out that humanity is doomed within 5 generations? Emma's sense of humor here on display.
Oh, Pocket really digging that joke.
He's running around, jumping on different surfaces, yelling, and then running to another surface. He's on the printer now, so we might get another printer encore here.
I really want Pocket and Rosie to meet. They seem to have very similar energy. I just don't let Rosie in here when I record. So,
hear that, Pocket? We're gonna join our houses.
Yes,
we're gonna arrange the marriage.
I'm sure if the printer scares you, this 25-pound basset hound with huge ears won't have any negative effect.
I've really wondered how he'd react to a dog, because he seems brave, but the printer, and also his tail. Like, there's all kinds of things that scare Pocket.
We
interesting cat.
When we moved into our first house, we adopted a cat, Julius, who you've met. And Julius has always been a little dullard. Like, he's always been kind of fucking stupid. But he's a really sweet cat. He's very friendly. And one day, and he's always been an inside cat. Like, we'd never let him outside or anything. And our house in Phoenix had like this nice fenced in yard. We got it kind of fixed up so we could hang out there and drink margaritas, and the dog could go out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But one day we were like, well, it'd be nice if like Julius could come out here with us. And so we opened the door, and Julius is not having it. Like, does not want to go near the door. And we're like, well, maybe if we just pick him up and like put him outside, he'll see that it's fine and just hang out. So we go in, pick him up, we set him outside the door, and I feel so bad. He freaks the fuck out. He is terrified by the wide open outdoors, streaks all around the yard. And then we had a fence on the side of the house that was about 5.5 foot tall. He leaps over that and goes into the road. And at this point, of course, Autumn and I are both screaming, stop, like that's going to do anything. And then luckily, like, I go through the house instead of chasing him through the fence, and I open the front door, and I guess he just sees me because he just runs in and goes straight upstairs, and we just didn't see him for days after that. Like, he was just like hiding forever, and then finally
traumatic as hell.
I mean, I felt so bad about it. I just thought he would have a good time. Like, we're outside, come hang out. But nope.
Yeah, it's smells. It's because you go outside and you smell like 1,000 predators at once.
Oh, it must be, yeah.
So the Pocket will be like right now. He's literally climbing the walls, like running around. And I think that sometimes when he has his shitty periods, maybe somebody in the apartment got a new pet, and I can't smell there's a new dog, but to him there's like a new danger he can't see. There's like an invisible danger somewhere, and that's why he's looking around, or he's just fucking with me. I don't know.
Or he is just manipulating the dumb human who is subservient to him.
Yeah, he's just playing with my keys because he knows it'll distract me from podcasting. And when I'm podcasting, I'm not like talking to him or giving him treats. So we cut over to Angel. She's watching one of the Stepford Cuckoos flirt with this student and kiss him. There's this great expression work where she kisses the student and looks out the corner of her eyes at the other cuckoos.
Yes, who are
really, really wonderful little scene.
Who are all talking about her with Emma Frost. It's like, she's kissing him now. That practically makes her a slut. Like, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, very, very high school kind of ish stuff.
Yeah, all the cuckoos content in this issue is great.
Yes,
or this arc actually. Like, this is the cuckoo's time to shine. And Emma Frost, again, really great characterization during this whole thing. She's who is this guy? He's this guy from Japan. He has 4D or 3D recall, whatever that's supposed to mean. Which we'll find out. Like, he just made up a superpower.
Yes.
This sounds like something Grant Morrison would say. We think he's taken over Esme's mind, and this great, the blush of young love can feel like invasion of the dignity snatchers, but treasure it, girls, because it turns sour soon enough.
Yes. And like, she basically says, like, don't worry, like, this is all very, very temporary. But it's just going to end like in badly, like it almost always does. So she'll grow out of it. Her diary will be filled with regrets, and that's the tragedy behind all Cupid's twanging. Like, obviously, like, she's pretty bitter about love in general. I wonder why.
I don't know who Emma Frost has been romantically involved with. Black King, maybe? Was she involved with Sebastian Shaw? I don't feel like it. I think she just like hung around his house in her underwear.
Oh, I was just thinking of like her obvious interest in Cyclops and like.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's true. Or just like seeing Jean Grey and Scott kind of dissolve.
I want to say in that solo book that she had for like 7 issues or something, there was a romantic plot in that with some other dude, but I can't. It's been so long since I read it.
When she was in college.
Yeah,
that was so maybe that went bad there. Like, I remember when that came out, but I didn't read very much of it.
And we're not reading bad comics on this podcast. We're reading good comics.
we will read bad comments.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I guarantee it. We cut over to Angel. She's in this tree, and Wolverine's kind of scolding her. Like, she's really sick of it. This place sucks. All these kids suck. They think they're special and good. Makes me sick. And Wolverine's like, basically, shut up. They're just the same as you. Stop being a hard ass.
Yes.
Wolverine sees through it. I love this where he's like, where are you going if it's so great around here? And he's like, well, I've been around the block a few times. Business finishes up, but right now I'm on the trail of some liquor and pool and easy company. So Wolverine using easy company as his euphemism for poontang.
Yes.
I really like.
To a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah. He knows which way the world goes.
Sure. Yeah, girl,
she's going to get pregnant in like 3 issues. Like,
that's true. That's very, very true.
Yeah.
She's going to have weird little babies in like 5. So,
we're coming up on it.
And Emma Frost comes walking over and is like, oh, if you're trying to get laid, you should hurry up. They're about to close the zoo. And he's like, hey, she's not going to understand your sense of humor. Okay, just please stop.
Yeah, I love that. I love that line. Like, she's busting Wolverine's balls. Wolverine likes it. They have this jokey relationship. And this is Emma Frost's first exposure to Angel, and they kind of spar.
Yeah. Because Angel, as you might imagine, and Emma Frost are polar opposites. Like, Emma is very uptight and very, cultured, very not necessarily polite, but mannered, if you can see the distinction. And whereas Angel is not like that at all. She's messy and rude and yells, and like they just instantly don't like each other.
Yeah. Wolverine asks about the Stepford Cuckoos. She says these are the creme de la creme of my telepathy class. And he's like, creme de la what? These are just teenage girls with hormones like the 4th of July. One of them got lucky with some kid from Osaka. The other ones are dying of jealousy. And I love Angel popping down and be like, read the Ice Queen or writes, Wolverine. Like, stick it to her.
Tell him, Dwayne. Get him.
Yeah, exactly. Tell him. Emma Frost is like, I'm going to have to take a hand in you. She's like, try it and I'll cut it off. She goes, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
So this is Emma Frost really kind of coming back into her own, like her places as a teacher. We've talked about that before.
Yep.
And that's one of the big things this arc did.
And from there, we cut over to Beast, who is inviting the press into the mansion. And he's about to give them a tour. Meanwhile, Jean is with Xavier, basically just kind of talking to him, even though he's not responding. And eventually kind of gets from his brain because he's kind of coming in and out of this telepathic connection, and eventually finds out that Gus was the name of his dog. And she says, yes, he was a really, really nice dog. You're right. And how sweet.
It's very sad. I love the sense of humor that Beast exhibits in these issues. Like, come right through here. You can see we vacuumed, especially. The idea that they vacuumed. This is like just a very good joke.
Is there any mutant with the power of cleaning? Do we have one of those?
Probably. Bring in Mega Maid.
Mega Maid, the power of dusting, but no windows.
The Cole Ross man, with the mutant ability to clean. So we cut over to the press conference. Beast, introduces Jean Grey, and she basically gives this speech that goes on for a while, kind of laying out this new X-Men philosophy and Xavier's dream in a way that is, palatable to just people and is understandable.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, the dialogue here is super interesting and good.
I love when she starts describing Xavier's first experience with his power. She says, he was only 11 years old when he saw through all of the lies we tell ourselves. And like that to a room full of journalists is probably a very provocative thing of being like, oh yeah, he knows everybody's secrets automatically, and he couldn't possibly understand what to do with that at 11.
Yeah, like 11. He's a kid. He doesn't fucking know. She takes them into a telepathic meeting room. So we're in a trippy skyscape here. And she's fielding questions.
Yeah, and this is something new that I don't really think we've seen in the X-Men before. Like, just an open and honest, like, hey, ask us whatever you want to ask. Like, let's get into who we are and what we do here, so we can be
XAMA.
I hate it. Oh, fuck off! I hate it. But and the very first question is like, hey, we got people pretending to be mutants. Mutant fashion is in style. Like, are you guys the new rock and roll? And it's like, that's a kind of an interesting thing, because for so long, like in the real world, like X-Men kind of were the real rock and roll, right? Like they were people like will style clothes based on uniforms and like think about these guys as kind of like a punk rock thing back in the 70s and 80s, maybe less so in the 90s. But it's still something like people would idolize, and to have that like be brought into this world, I think is super interesting.
Yeah, it's all part of like Grant Morrison's stated mission statement with this run. Was like the X-Men used to be cool. We need to make the X-Men cool again. And, because he's Grant Morrison, he made them cool in the real world by doing this run that basically reinvented, the franchise. Like before this, we were doing shit like the 12, where like Apocalypse had to go hunt down the 12 most powerful mutants in the world to like sap their powers in a big device.
Yeah.
Like it was we were dealing with some real Scott Lobdell level shit. And, and he also made it so that would happen in the real world. So it's not the X-Men, just the comic, that has this youth energy. It's also the X-Men as the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And he, she basically says, yes, I can see what you're getting at. It seems like everyone wants to be the persecuted minority, but that's really defeatist. We are proud of ourselves. We're proud of our achievements, but we are not treating ourselves like a token.
Yes.
Essentially.
And he asked another question about the X-Men, but basically says, like, I've heard you've got some sort of private army. And as she's describing what the X-Men really is, from outside, we see the boy that has 3D recall that one of the Cuckoos was making out with, like looking at the mansion from afar.
Mm-hmm. And can see into it.
Yes.
And speaks in an alien language into a wristwatch communicator. We go back to the conference. Somebody asks a bigoted question, basically says trouble follows you wherever you go, which is, not untrue. The X-Men, it's just, they're superheroes. There's a lot of bad stuff that happens with the X-Men. She just heard about the Shi'ar. She got the Shi'ar weekly. And Emma Frost puts her in her place. Like basically, talks about Beast, calling him a freak. She turns all giant and invades her mind.
Yes.
And Jean Grey basically says, hey, we're going to have to forget, wipe everyone's memory the last 10 seconds. So following in Xavier's footsteps. Exactly.
I love the very surprised Beast beneath the very, very large giant. He's like, whoa, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. What the? He's got little Metal Gear like alerts on his head.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's like defending him. He's like, oh, it's okay. I've been called worse. Listen, I'm in the lab right now. I can't really concentrate enough to maintain my presence here. And then we switch over. He's leaning over a microscope. He's like, oh my God. While Jean Grey is explaining, like, yeah, our people have been persecuted and exterminated. There's genocide on an unprecedented scale. With Genosha, we've lost all these Einsteins and Shakespeare's and Kurt Cobain's, kind of explaining like, hey, it's a big idea, but we believe in the future. Like, we are optimistic. Yes, trouble has followed us, but we're going to focus on the future. While Beast is discovering, like, hey, that flu we've been suffering, and we thought maybe Cassandra Nova was behind it, it's 10 times worse. And there's a great little panel here where he goes, oh, my stars and fucking guardians.
I love it. What a great line. Yeah.
Well, and the image, like, it shows this microscope of cells being attacked by little tiny micro sentinels with the sentinel head. Yeah,
little sentinel scorpion cell killers. Fucking good. So good. Don't you want like a tank of these somewhere?
Yeah. Sea monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, I love it.
We cut over to Wolverine in a bar, obviously looking for some easy company, and watching Jean's speech on TV while all of this is happening. Because and I didn't realize this at first too, like this is being televised. This is a huge fucking deal.
Yeah. Yep. She's like, we're not training mutant soldiers. We're training scientists and artists, athletes and doctors. One of the guys goes, how about mutant bartenders? Wolverine says, I'll drink to that. Really cute. And she's basically just laying out this vision for an optimistic future where humans and mutants are branches on the same evolutionary tree, will work together. We should not be fighting each other. We're tired of hiding and running. Like, we've endured what the worst the world has had to offer. What if we help? What if we work together to make the world a better place? Like, it's very utopian.
Yeah.
And it works. It lands.
It absolutely lands. Like, in this next page is her saying, like, I hope I didn't go on too much. And then they're walking around the school grounds, and it's very utopia-ish. Like, mutants are flying around playing what looks like badminton, which, I love a good game of badminton. Give me some badminton any day.
Love badminton.
And just having
with the hugest net that's ever been.
Yeah.
You see how wide this net is?
I mean, it's like, is there 17 people playing? Like, are there 8 teams playing at the same time?
Yeah. I love Mega Mitten.
But yeah, this all works. Like, one of the reporters is like, I can't speak for, I know you can't speak for all mutants, but like this looks great. This literally looks like a utopia.
and she's like, well, why don't we talk? Like, let's get a start. It's very sweet and very optimistic. Of course, things are going to go bad because drama, conflict is the soul of drama.
Yes.
So she's talking about this being this outpost of the future. Esme, who is the Stepford Cuckoo, who is dating Kato, who's the alien, says, "Here, who are you talking about? Is there something I should know?" And he goes, "Well, I may as well tell you about it now that you're going to die." And then the Shi'ar ship scans them, knocks Jean Grey on her ass.
Yes.
Through this, and the invasion has started.
I do. Before he does this whole thing, we get that panel of Jean continually talking. Like, it's just a picturesque view of a bunch of mutants like having a good time at school, and like there's a weird Mystique Nightcrawler person, and on the right side there's what looks like a guy with a bandana that's like half water or something.
The genie.
Yeah. What's up with the Will Smith genie?
I don't know why there's a Will Smith genie. Also, having young Nightcrawler, that's like the Nightcrawler's daughter Nocturne from Exiles. It's a real weird cameo.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, because you remember Nocturne? I think her name was Nocturne. There's a lady Nightcrawler who was in Exiles. I think that's who that might be referencing, even though that character's not in 616.
Oh, weird.
So, super weird.
So sorry for the brief aside, but yeah, then
it's we're talking about the genie.
Yeah.
Will Smith, genie versus elephant ears versus like Uncle Yoda over here.
Oh man, first there was Baby Yoda.
Yep. Well, Yoda's got to have a brother.
Have you muted Baby Yoda on Twitter yet?
Oh, I knew. Yes. Yes. Not my first rodeo, my man. It is
so funny.
As muted as hard as it ever could be.
So Jean passes out. Emma kind of reassures all of the press of like, oh hey, this is fine. This is just no big deal. Just go towards the mansion. And then Jean freaks out and is like, go to Diamond Form, telepathic shutdown, Scott's in danger. And then that's when Beast runs in. Jean, they're nano sentinels, and they're like, not an appropriate time.
When she says Scott's in trouble, Emma's like, no, he's in Tibet.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of like everyone is freaking out at the same time, not really communicating well. We switch over to Tibet, where the first invasion of the Shi'ar have come. They've knocked out Scott, and they're taking Scott and Zorn up to the Shi'ar ship.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of get this cover story now that Cassandra Nova is controlling Lilandra. Again, we don't get to see Lilandra. We don't get to see all this stuff happen. We just cut over and see the after effects.
Yes.
She's talking about there being this thought plague contamination. So she's basically sold them that all the mutants on Earth have this contamination, have turned evil. And the Empire is a really backwards political thing where the Empress is all knowing and, is to be obeyed in every situation, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going away with it. Like, people are talking to Gladiator and like, hey, I got a dark sense of humor as well, but these guys are our friends. And it's like, well, sometimes, they turn toxic. This happens. This has happened before. We have to take them out. The Empress commands us.
What do you think about this weird black ship in the top panel?
Their weird Starcraft
Mm-hmm.
Zerg ship.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's fine.
Do you think you'll ever be excited about a spaceship ever again in your life?
No, I don't care about them. I don't think they're cool looking. I don't know. Space is not the place for me, man.
Space is not the
Space
place.
doesn't do it.
No.
Space
And yeah,
is not the place. Like,
they decide they are going to go to Earth and as their Empress commands and start, presumably killing all the mutants.
Yep, sterilizing mutants, because that is the thing that would hurt Charles Xavier the most.
Mm-hmm.
We come back down to where the other Cuckoos are like, hey, something bad's gonna happen. Your boyfriend's part of it, and she's no, you're just jealous. Like, no, it's true. Look at him. And he starts speaking in his like alien speak. Kato was my human disguise. I am Stuff, advanced scout of Shi'ar Super Guardian team. And morphs into this like blob. And there's this great like thing where Esme's like, you read me poetry. You said we were in love. And like a fool, you believe me. Prepare for sterilization. As fireballs come in from the Earth. Like, the end of this is very funny. Again, this whole arc is kind of funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really surprising
Mm-hmm.
for how dramatic it is.
And
because Gladiator shows up.
Yeah, this is the introduction of Gladiator, the super guardian of the Shi'ar Imperium. My sworn duty is to preserve stellar harmony. And he says he's forgiven what he has to do here, and it's destroy all mutants.
Yeah, and Emma gets the last line. Try not to let this experience put you off of boys as me. Which is a very funny last line.
And that's the end of the issue. Yeah, this is really good stuff. Like, we talked about it a lot when we started the arc, but like space stuff with X-Men has never been very strong for me. But this isn't space stuff. This is like what you said. This is an invasion of space stuff. We don't have to deal with the political machinations or anything. It's just the Cassandra Nova took over the Empire and has obviously taken over the Empress and is now sending people to exterminate mutants. Like and this is all on Earth. Like this is extremely dope. So
yeah. Well, and Cassandra Nova is cool in a way that like Death Star never is.
Yes.
You know, the Shi'ar bored the shit out of me. You know, but Cassandra Nova is great. And she's just using them as a weapon, which is how I want the Shi'ar to be used.
I mean, the Death Star is pretty cool though.
Not a good spaceship, man. No good spaceships. Even if they're a planet. Death Bird is who I was thinking of.
I know, but I was just fucking with you because it is a cool planet killing planet.
Well, you know, you'd think so. There's only one planet killing planet, and it's Unicron from Transformers the movie.
Oh my god.
It's the only good one. The last role of Orson Welles where he plays a gigantic fat planet that eats other planets.
I didn't even know that fucking happened. Jesus.
Yeah, man. It's super dignified.
It's super dignified. Put that on my tombstone. It was super dignified. And then just the wink emoji. Ding. Anywho, so if you like this podcast, Duckfeed.tv/Patreon or Patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. I think both of them work now. And give us a couple of bucks a month. You'll get cool rewards for doing so. You can tell Gary and Cole what games they get to cover for the various podcasts. You get access to the Slack channel. The Days of Future Cast channel has been hopping since we've changed format. Lots of comic book discussion. More comic book discussion there than the actual comic book channel, which we'll probably need to figure out at some point. But I kind of like it the way it is right now.
I left the comic book channel because even though we have a manga channel, manga infiltrated it. And then the Days of Future Cast channel functions as the channel for the show and comics I'm interested in talking about.
Sure, yeah.
Just an accident, but I'll take it. You know, it wasn't by design. It's just like, I don't have to deal with any comics I don't care about. No one's going to talk to me about Martian Manhunter and this shit.
So go to the comics channel if you just want to talk shit about Gary.
I sometimes look at channels I'm not in, man. It's not safe.
Sneaky. But thank you to everyone that's been doing that, and thank you to
80% of the mod. Like I'm like the only person who mods on that thing. Like you mod as well.
I do,
but you do mod. It's like me, you, and Cole.
Me, you, Cole, and Moot. I feel like are the
mod.
are the people that bring shit up that we. Yeah. And it's never like anything actionable. That's the fun thing about modding stuff. It's just like, this is kind of annoying. Can I ban them? And other people going, no, you can't do that.
No, you probably shouldn't. It's like, okay, well, thanks for letting me vent. The end. We're all friends.
And if you think this is about you, it probably is. So good night.
Yay. Positively Hughesian.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.